Just after I came here, I got permission from the Home Office to allow the women in the maternity wing to wear their own clothes. Well, it's important for the babies to see their mothers as individuals.
Well, of course, women on remand wear their own clothes, and lifers are allowed to in their own section.
Exactly. Well, as the sky didn't fall down on maternity and there wasn't a revolution, I was given permission to extend the scheme to another wing at my discretion.
What, you mean mine?
Well, that was what I intended. But it would be disastrous if there was a disturbance just at the time we were carrying this scheme out.
Well, yes, of course.
Come in.
The Benedict girl, Governor?
Oh, yes. What's she in for?
Benedict Sarah, age 20, charged at Beach Street Magistrates Court with possession of 2 ounces of cannabis, remanded in custody for 7 days.
Only possession. Anything known?
No previous conviction.
Well, why wasn't she given bail?
Apparently she refused the offer.
Well, I better see her then. Will you excuse me, please, Miss Harker?
Sarah Benedict!
Sally!
Hello, Mrs. Boswell.
I only heard this evening. I phoned Sally a couple of times today. There was no reply. How is she?
Shocked, of course. Like everyone who suddenly finds themselves in prison.
You talked to her?
Yes. Normally the deputy governor sees people on remand, but she especially asked to see me.
Can you help her?
Only to make sure that she has everything she needs and that she knows her rights. Bail was fixed at £50, but she wouldn't pay it.
But doesn't she have enough money?
Well, of course she has. Her father's rolling in it. He's a stockbroker or merchant banker or something.
Well, her reason for asking to see me was to say that if he did offer to pay the bail, she wouldn't accept it.
Why does she want to stay in jail?
I was hoping you could tell me that.
I've no idea.
How long have you known her?
A few weeks. I've only taken her out 2 or 3 times. She's a marvellous girl.
Met her parents?
I saw her father once. He wouldn't let her go out with me till he met me. Her mother's dead.
Did you know she was on drugs?
I don't believe it.
Paul, she was picked up by the police in a cafe in Chelsea, a known place for drug users. She was seen passing the stuff around, just offering it. Now, she doesn't deny it. Magistrate would have been much harder on her if she'd been seen selling it.
Listen. It's all a mistake. I just won't believe it.
I didn't know what was happening when she walked into my office.
What are you going to do?
Well, there's only one thing I can do, and that's let the Home Office know that I know her, declare my interest, hand her over to somebody else to deal with.
Of course.
A girl like Sally, it's unbelievable.
Well, I'm not really surprised. I thought she might have been on something the other night. Those cigarettes she was smoking, hand-rolled. I suspected she might have added something to the tobacco.
Cannabis? Oh, that has a very distinctive smell. I would have noticed it.
Not if she just added a little, just enough to make her high. Well, I wasn't sure of it myself. Well, you don't expect to find someone in your living room smoking reefers.
Why did she do it? Why take the risk?
She probably gets a kick out of doing something illegal.
Yes. All that talk about breaking the law.
She may have been defying you to find out.
Well, I don't understand her. Neither did the magistrate. He wants a report on her before he makes a decision. I suppose Paul's very upset.
Yes, seems quite keen on her.
Well, at least he's not too involved as yet.
Well, we'll have to face it, Faye. We don't know how much he is involved. But if she's been handing out this stuff, how can we be sure she hasn't given some to Paul?
I'm not a dealer. But if I've got some, anybody can have it.
You don't see anything wrong in that?
What's wrong with a little dope? It's harmless.
Sally, I must warn you that if you're antagonistic towards the magistrate, things will go very much harder for you.
I am not being antagonistic, but I have to say what I believe. They can try me as much as they want. The whole case is just stupid.
Yes, well, I'm afraid I can't discuss your case with you, however much I would like to. I can't discuss anything with you. I've informed the Home Office that I know you, and in future, if you want to see anyone, you'll have to see our deputy, Mr. Radley. If you want to say anything to anyone, you'll have to say it to him. I think that's all. What did the psychiatrist make of her?
Oh, they've only had a preliminary talk. He says she seems balanced, fully responsible for her actions. I'd say she was just one of those rich little girls who think they can do what they like, that the law doesn't apply to them.
No, I think it's much more than that. However, it's your responsibility now, Mr. Radley. You'll also be responsible for the report that goes to the magistrate. Remember, her future depends on it.
Yes, Governor.
Governor. Oh, yes. Send her in, will you? Come in.
Mrs. Weeks, madam. 7243.
Sit down, Mrs. Weeks. You're leaving us tomorrow.
Yes, I'm scared.
Oh, you don't have to be.
Well, I'll be all on my own, nowhere to go. And I know what'll happen, I'll start drinking again. And I don't want to go back to that.
No, I told you not to worry, and I've kept my word. Now, you were going to stay with your sister in Birmingham, but she had a stroke. Well, I'm afraid she's still far from well. But I'm happy to say that she's regained partial use of her left side.
Good for Jess.
Now, she wants to leave hospital, but she can't manage on her own. I've checked, and they're willing to release her so long as there's somebody there who will guarantee to look after her. Now, are you prepared to do that?
Prepared? It's what I've been longing for. But I never thought nobody'd trust me.
I don't want to lecture you, Mrs. Weeks, but it is rather a responsibility.
Don't you worry, I'll look after her and myself. We can have her old flat.
Good. Well, I'll telephone the Almada to expect you sometime tomorrow afternoon. I'm sure you'll want to see your sister. She won't be allowed to leave hospital yet. I expect you'll need a few days to get the flat ready, won't you?
Yes, well, I'll be getting out just in time.
What do you mean?
Before all this extra work.
What extra work?
They're new floors. All that cleaning and polishing, they'll be at it all day.
All day?
Well, everybody knows what they're for. There isn't enough work to go round. They'll just be kept polishing. Well, at least that's what everybody says.
How can they think that?
Well, it's an easy room to start, especially if the women don't realise that their living conditions will be improved by the rebuilding. Did you tell them?
I didn't think it was necessary.
Miss Parrish?
I'm sorry, Governor, I don't see what you mean.
That the hours that they have to spend shut up by themselves will be greatly reduced.
Well, I don't see how much reduction is possible. When they're not working, they must return to their cells.
Perhaps I haven't made myself clear, Miss Parrish. There will be no more locked cells in this prison except at night or in specific cases. The women will have freedom within their own section. It's a system that's worked very well in North Wing, and I intend to extend it to the rest of Stone Park.
Is that an order, Governor?
I hope it won't be necessary to make it one, Miss Parrish. Principal officers and assistant governors tomorrow afternoon.
Yes,
There
Governor.
must be no doubts. If they haven't already made plans to alter the routine in their wings, they must do so. And the women must know about the changes.
Yes, Governor.
Thank you, Mr. Radley.
Oh, there you are, madam.
Yes, Chief.
I've just heard something. I know you'll forgive me, but I thought perhaps you'd want to know.
Yes?
It's your son, Paul, madam. He's got a visiting order and he's come to see the Benedict girl.
I can't interfere, Mrs. Armitage. He has his own friends.
You're looking well.
I'm fine. You can't keep a good girl down.
I didn't have any difficulty getting in to see you.
I'm allowed all the visitors alike while I'm waiting for sentence. Maybe you could arrange a relay. Class of 74?
I'm glad you're not in one of those uniforms.
Yes, I don't look forward to that. Hate the thought of regulation knickers.
I can't tell you what I felt when I heard. Are you sure you're all right?
Dandy.
Anything I can bring you? Anyone you want me to speak to?
No,
How about your father?
it wouldn't do any good.
You haven't heard from him.
Only the usual awesome silence. I didn't expect anything else. Didn't expect to see you either.
Why not?